Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Strange and Departed, a video podcast where we'll discuss everything Halloween haunted attraction related with your host, Dustin Ring, Jim Strange, and I am Travis Ring. In this episode, we're going to talk about why we're starting this podcast in the first place. We're also going to talk a little bit about ourselves, why we got into this crazy industry, and we're going to talk about, of course, the main event that is happening in St. Louis from March 19th through the 22nd. Of course, I'm talking about the largest haunted house or haunted attraction trade show in the industry, and that is Transworld. We're going to talk about what may be new with some of the vendors. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Its intensity may be more than some wish to be exposed to, and those people should.
How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Dude, awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So
Finally stoked that we're doing this, guys. Episode 1. Been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah, it's all coming together. It's been a couple months now we've been talking about it, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and talk about why we got into this in the first place. Jim, let's go ahead and start with you.
Oh man, I've been a home haunter for many years. It's gotta be pushing almost 20 years now. In middle school, I used to make like cemeteries in the front yard. When some kids would be playing sports, I'd be carving out tombstones and making coffins. Gone to haunted attractions my whole life. Just taking in all the information that I've can over the years. I've worked Halloween retail, doing set design for businesses. Halloween Outlet was a big retail store in New England. Did set design and makeup effects for them. We did displays at like different attractions, the malls, the movie theaters, bars in town and whatnot. Worked for Abominations line of the Fright catalog for the season, doing production, molding, casting, and whatnot. I've made 4 haunted houses of my own, home haunts, but 4 haunted houses on my own, and just really into the industry, man. Just anything Halloween and horror is what I live for.
Yeah, definitely. Dustin, I know our stories are very similar. We grew up together. We are brothers. Why don't you go ahead and elaborate on what Dearly Departed is, and what's going on?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so my name's Dustin, and Travis and I own a company called Dearly Departed. We're based out of Reno, Nevada, and we've been doing this for, I think, about like 10 years, really. And so we first started off as a home haunt and then elevated ourselves into like creating our own prosthetics and masks and really anything haunted house related. Travis is an elaborate storyteller. So he came up with all these crazy ideas on what we were going to be creating in the haunted houses. And so really we just started doing a lot of stuff and talking to Mitch with Brick in the Yard and just ramping up like our own like creative outlets and our artistic side of things. And so we sculpt a lot of our own stuff in our haunted house. It's all unique props, and man, we love it. It's so much fun. Much fun. Love it so much. Anyway, a little bit of history of how we all got to know each other. We were in we did this bus tour that was sponsored by Transworld in St. Louis, where we would go to different haunted houses. We started off in Nashville, went to Nashville Nightmare, and then we drove over to Paducah, and we were kind of in the back of the bus.
The party crowd. We were the party crowd.
The party crowd, exactly. So good. And we all met each other there, and it was fun. And we've been friends ever since, and decided that we might as well just like kind of start this podcast to keep everybody updated on the current state of the industry. But yeah, I mean, starting off in Nashville, I guess we could start off there with Nashville Nightmare. They have an incredible facility out there where they have, when we were there at least, it was 3 different attractions, and they did an incredible job. Fucking loved it.
Yeah, it was multiple buildings. I think they started off as like just one building, and then the following year they bought the building next to them, and they just kept getting larger and larger. And there was a department store, there was like a movie theater. They just kept like growing. Like, they're a perfect example of just like, you know, starting off small, getting bigger and bigger. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And then we also we drove to Paducah and had probably too much fun in the back of the bus. Hung out with was it Riley and Lexi, right? Those they also have a well, I guess they don't work there anymore. At least Lexi doesn't up there in Dubuque, Iowa.
Duluth, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Duluth haunted
Duluth,
ship.
not Dubuque. Yeah. Duluth, the haunted ship. And we all just like started collaborating, and we were kind of the a little bit disruptive.
Yeah, we were the loud bunch. You know what I mean? It was just like being back in high school, man. The front of the bus was really quiet. The middle of the bus was like rolling their eyes, and we're in the back just like drinking beers and talking about like our dreams for the future.
Right. I remember a couple times there were people like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, stop it! We're trying to sleep. It's like 2 a.m. We're like, we fucking love this shit, though.
I paid just as much as you. I'm gonna drink and have a good time."
Exactly. I think we had to sneak the drinks on too, didn't we?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. I don't think they really cared, but
yeah, it was something like, could we use the bathroom? It was like something like we couldn't use the bathroom or something like that. So they were like, maybe we shouldn't drink too much, or. But it's just we're like-minded individuals. We were down. We're in Nashville. We were outside the bar, just we're drinking beers in the bar, smoking butts outside, and Travis and Dustin had brought out eyeballs and like some of the stuff that they made from Dearly Departed, and we just kind of hit it off. It's just like, this is a perfect example of just like you in your travels to Transworld, to haunted attractions, wherever you meet cool people, like-minded individuals, and so this is a perfect example of that. Because I don't know about everybody else like tuning in, but like I can only talk to a very few handful of people about my passions about Halloween and horror and manufacturers of such, but it's cool to be able to meet some people that you can actually talk to,
Definitely. And Transworld is the place to do that if you wanted to meet like-minded individuals, especially that are interested in this crazy fucking industry. Outside the Marriott, where it's right across the street from the convention center in St. Louis, that is where you will meet most of the vendors and fellow haunters. And you collaborate, you talk, and the whole idea of this is to really just try and make the scariest shit ever. How can we entertain the public the best that we can? And,
that's what's cool too, is because like Transworld, I think you hit it good. Is like it's the mecca of everything haunted house related.
Definitely.
And so like it's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's over 400 exhibitors in like 500,000 square feet, and so you can't really like. I know, like for us, like we barely like it's the last day Jossie and I are basically running through the escape room area, and I don't even think we really got much of the Christmas stuff, because I don't personally could give a fuck less about it.
Oh yeah. It's like it's physically enduring to your body. You know what I mean? Your feet are gonna hurt. You're getting lack of sleep. You got to make sure you're getting some nutrients in your body, because you can't just run off a friggin' beer and
Alcohol.
pizza. And especially as you get older too. It's just like you need to put some nutrients in your body. But it's like you said, it takes me pretty much the whole weekend to get through just the Halloween trade show. You know what I mean? Like I very quickly do the escape room, and I was able to quickly view the Christmas, but the Christmas was new for this for last year. It's cool that they're doing it now, but it's a very quick walkthrough. I spend most of my time trying to saturate the whole the trade room floor just for the haunted house stuff, the Halloween aspect of things, and it takes a long time.
And there's just so much stuff. I mean, it's too much to take in, honestly. And I know that a lot of people say this, especially if you go to some of the seminars. They say, like, go to the trade show floor with a idea of what you want to buy before you go in there and just start buying everything. Because I think everybody that's tuning into this podcast would probably agree. You would probably buy most of the stuff there.
You're like a kid,
tens of thousands of dollars.
You're like a kid in a candy store again. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, I'd buy that, I'd buy this, I'd buy that. To people tuning in that don't know what Transworld is, I mean, it's the state of the industry. It's a huge trade room it's a trade show where you can buy everything for haunted house industry, but it's also like Travis said, like you got to meet people, like what problems did you have that prior year? What are your plans for the future? This is the spot where you're actually going to meet people that might have gone through the same crap that you're going through now, and being able to talk about it and iron through stuff. Seminars, meet people, learn. It's about learning. You know what I mean? Like anything in life, take Halloween out of the equation. you have to be constantly learning, and this is the place to do it for our industry.
Definitely. I know that I've seen a couple of new stuff that's been leaked not really leaked. It's on their websites, but I've seen Poison Props. They have this new beautiful fucking lady that's gonna rip her face off. New prop. I don't know. You guys want to maybe talk
the thing
about
is it? Yeah, that thing is so cool, man. Poison Props, like in the dark area, is between them and like Scare Factory for me is like, oh yeah. I absolutely love going in there. It's like, I think like Travis and I and like Jim, like I don't even know if you were with us last year, but like it's like you enter in and it's like Gore Galore, and they've got all their like huge props, and then you're like, we bust straight to the left, hit Ghost Ride, and then it's like we go right into Poison Props, check out all their new stuff. Like Travis, you got this up right now with her face. Like, look at that thing. Yeah. Like, that is unbelievable. Like it's a rad prop that like beautiful. You could definitely use for.
Yeah, she looks so good too, and like it's like, oh, like maybe she has a headache or something, and it's like.
Yeah.
Like fucking
well, it looks
crazy.
like, it looks high quality too, because I think originally Poison Props were always good quality. I've heard nothing but good reviews on Poison Props. I think originally when they started, they would take prefabricated masks and hands and put it on their animatronics, but it looks like this. I mean,
I feel like they still do, don't they? Don't they like still get some stuff from like Ghost Ride?
Yeah, but even this the tear off lady face, it looks close to Ghost Ride, doesn't it? Like a Ghost Ride.
It definitely has that quality, and then you're going to get the quality from their animatronics, because they definitely have a reputation for maintaining. You don't have to maintain them as much,
right? They can run. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're running through many patrons like each night. These are animatronics that can like withstand. Just getting constantly beat on.
Yeah, because you gotta like think like there's so much abuse, and they definitely put the what is the word I'm looking for? It's the solid kind of feel, like that the prop is gonna last for a long time, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and like I mean, like everything breaks. Like like if you go on like Hunters Hangout, like everything breaks. For me personally, like just like even like behind me, I have like a her name's Mindy from Ghost Ride. Like her leg fell off. Like that happens. Yeah. People go through a haunted house and they rip off fingers and shit breaks. And so like Chas did a killer job on like seaming her back together.
And that goes back to like the learning thing. Like you're constantly learning. Your prop breaks, your animatronic breaks. You know what I mean? Right. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? If you have $10,000 just to spend on stuff, you just keep buying stuff. But I personally not that I like when something breaks, but you learn how to fix it. You learn exactly. You open up a new jar of friggin', latex or silicone or a paint that you never used before, and it's
right. Even
exciting.
Like during the haunt too, like you learn how to work around things that have broken. Because it's a show, it's a live show while we're doing the haunt, and it's like something's not working, so maybe throw in an actor or something like that will fill in the void of the broken.
Dude, like I would say, like, it's so pathetic, but like I would say like 50% of the shit that we have in our haunt breaks throughout. Show, every night.
It's like,
yeah.
And I don't, like it's crazy to me. I mean, we run our stuff though like way high PSI, like it's. Which is idiotic, but I feel like we actually like to run a crazy high PSI.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like you said too, like when you have people going through your haunt, they don't know the amount of work that we put into it. You know what I mean? Like they'll brush up against stuff like it's nothing. I'm like, you know how long it took me to paint that? That's like 3 layers of paint. Like just stuff like that. So but again, for another learning curve, you have to learn how to make your stuff like withstand. To be able to take a beating, like what can I do to strengthen this or that? You know what I mean? This didn't work here. Maybe I should put this one higher up. That kind of jazz.
Right, and that brings up a good point too. Like with detail within like dark rooms and stuff like that. Sometimes you don't need as much detail in certain areas that aren't going to be as illuminated. But I know, like us as haunters, when we're making a room, we want to make it like while the room is lit. We want to make it as detailed possible. We want to like, but then in reality, it's going to be low lit and no one's going to see it. You're going around a corner or whatever. So you can save yourself a lot of time and energy by not making it as detailed in some of the darker rooms. Like, for example, actually the one that Dustin is in right now, that corner right there, we love that little like electrical area, and I'm glad that we did it. But
nobody sees it.
Nobody sees it because they come around
corner
to the
wall,
left, and no one's gonna look around and see that area. But at the same time, it's kind of a little Easter egg it's fun to throw in there too.
If it's
for our own enjoyment, right? Because
right.
But
what's the thing? This is something that we love to do. Like if you eventually, if it's not up right now, if you're gonna go to our website, it's strangerdeparted.com. We'll throw up a video of my home haunt this year. And like the opening scene, like you're in catacombs, like a mausoleum. And like, those walls, dude, I put a drywall compound, spackle ceiling. I base coated it gray. I stippled I put moss. Like I went to town, and then you watch people go through. And it's so quick. Like, in general,
right.
We love this stuff. And as an industry, we love this stuff. Any haunted house that we go into, we're going to, take it all in. And just, I slowly walk through and just look at everything very slowly because I love it, But your average person is going to walk through a haunted house quick. They're scared. They want to get out of this room into the next room,
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until like afterwards, like, like a lights on tour or whatnot, where people are like, "Wow, this is a lot of work." But but the video footage too. You know what I mean? So that's a big part. Like where our hard work and attention to detail pays off, because if we do shoot any video footage, it's gonna show up in there. You know what I mean? So it's I totally agree with what you're saying. It's a draw. You know what I mean? Like because you don't want to spend 10,000 hours painting one wall.
But you still want to make it immersive, like
right.
the environment. Like you want to believe that you're in that area for sure.
Right.
Definitely
this was the first year actually that I started doing the ceiling. You know what I mean? Like your average haunt.
Yeah.
Back when we were kids, you know what I mean? I got to think 10 years. Call it even 10 years ago for anybody. 10 years ago, you go to a haunted house. I mean, you got an 8-foot wall, 4x8-foot walls, and that was that. You know what I mean? And I like the idea of obviously you still need the sprinkler system. Obviously, you have to keep safety and fire codes in mind. But I love the idea of like just throwing whatever, like you got to throw something on the ceiling, I like do something floor to ceiling. Like my haunt it's in a basement, you know what I mean? So the floor is already naturally it's cement, it's beat up, so great, floor is done, but then do the walls really detailed. And this is the first year I actually started doing the ceilings, and when we post the video on the website, you'll be able to see that opening crypt. I ended up taking packaging paper and spraying it down with fire retardant, but I was able to crinkle it up and like spray paint it so it looked like stone, so I felt like you're in a cave, and I love that, I love being able to like the darkness, like Netherworld, like all these big haunted houses where I'm not comparing myself at all to that, but you know what I mean, that idea, that attention to detail,
which is crazy too, because like I did something like 44 haunted houses this year, like different people's haunted houses, crazy amount. But we went in, like one, obviously like Universal has theirs, and it's crazy because like I feel like it has to be like a fire code thing where like for them in the California area, we didn't go to the Florida one, but for them they have this like mesh, and you can see all the like the studio lights from like as they have the studios for creating movies, but like it brings you out of that world. And like I don't think you guys can see it in here, but we did drop ceiling, and like so like our haunt is it's a hospital theme, and so hospitals have drop ceilings, and so it's very immersive. We do take like the fire code standards. We have like a chief of fire come out and check everything out, make sure that we're good and that we're solid, and all of our, because Jim, you did like the chaos seminars last year, right?
Not last year, the year before. Yes, I got chaos certified, and you have to. You know what I mean? Because if you're a home haunter, if you're a professional haunter, anybody in the industry, if you're having people walk through your house that are complete strangers, if they get hurt at all, you're liable. You know what I mean? And
you're screwed. Yeah.
And it's but it's not only that. It will affect the whole industry, though. You know what I mean? If something happens and it gets on the news, you know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. Like.
Well, not only that, it's gonna hurt the industry itself.
Exactly.
Every time that there's a haunted house that burns down somewhere, it affects every single one of us. That is into this art itself. So, highly do suggest taking those chaos seminars for sure.
Yeah,
I'm stoked. Like, did you guys check out all the other seminars? Like, if you've never been, because we started talking about Transworld, but like if you've never been to those seminars, some of them like like the ones that you should definitely do is like Alan Hobbs, John LaFlamboy, literally anything like Zombie Army.
I can listen to Alan Hobbs talk all day long. You know,
dude. Yeah.
He's a fucking
funny
badass.
Yeah. He knows how to talk about things too. He's definitely got an awesome sense of humor. That's for sure.
But like what you were saying, like for the chaos, a lot of the chaos when I was trying to get certified, that's a lot of learning the industry. I took a lot of seminars that first year I went to Transworld, learning because eventually I'm a home haunter that wants to go pro, as do all of us,
right.
you know. So I did a lot of learning on that aspect of things, like what the fire department's going to expect. Just how to get into the industry, promoting, marketing, those that side of things, But there's so many seminars which I plan to take. Like last year, I started taking like mold making and casting, quick seminars, But like they start doing more on the art side of things, and I mean, you get a whole bunch of seminars under your belt. You're gonna be much better off.
For sure, and there's definitely a balance, between
like
seminars and also
what was some
the
of your
trade show
favorites
floor.
from last
Because
year?
like it
For me, like it was really like again like Alan Hobbs. There was one that he did that was a actor training thing, and he had like a ton of people come up to the front. And they did like act like a zombie, and on a scale of like I think it was like 0 to 10 or percentages or something like that. And he basically, and I have like some of the videos showing right now, but basically what he did is like said like I want you to be 10%, and then I want you to be 20%, and by the time he got up to 70% zombie, people were going like apeshit, and like you can't sustain that amount of energy through a haunt through the whole night, or else you're gonna be freaking dead ass tired. And I think it's like a rad thing that he did.
It was
that
rad.
Like we never really employed at our haunt. We just wanted everybody to be 100% all the time. Like, why can't you be 100%? This is crazy. But it was and we knew, after a while, like the later crowds that would come in, people were just done. So you could walk around and say, hey, I want you at 50%. Mm-hmm. Hey, I love what you're doing right now at 70%, but tame it down to 50%.
Yeah,
or you could go up to people and say, I want you at 80%, and they know because you did this training with them before the haunt. They know what 80% zombie is.
Yeah.
John LaFlamboy is going to be doing another one this year that I'm excited about, like another actor training course.
Another legend, that's for sure.
Yeah, because it's like build your own army. Like he's going to walk you through the whole zombie army process, which is one of the best. And I got to go to MHC last year and get to see like firsthand like his haunt. And it was freaking awesome. Like,
yeah.
What was the one that we
Hell's
did?
Gate.
What was the one that we all did last year? It was like 60 scares in 60 minutes or something. It was like Alan Hobbs and I'm
Ben Armstrong.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah,
that was really
like,
good.
But yeah,
I think that who else was there? Like I think it was Erebus, right?
Yeah, the guy that owns it. It's Erebus.
Is it Erebus? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But his last name's Terabus.
Those guys are rad.
Terabus?
Yeah, it's not Erebus, it's Terabus. And they the brothers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it was great. It was like 60 minutes for 60 minutes, and I haven't written that fast since like high school algebra. Like I was writing in my friggin' notebook like so fast. But it was great ideas. You know what I mean? That's what networking's all about. You know what I mean? Like it's not about keeping all your ideas in like, to yourself. You know what I mean? Like again, if you want to try something out for the first time, like on your own, do it. But then if it works out, you share it with people, and they'll share with you their ideas. Like
exactly. And that actually brings up a really good point because having like competing, for example, haunted houses, like okay, whatever, your haunt's better than the other guy's haunt, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like if you do it that way, then people are going to see that animosity between the two haunts. Whereas if you promote each other, for example, like, hey, check them out, check out this other haunt down the road. They're not going to just go to one haunted house that night, and maybe they have some different or better aspects than you do. But it's definitely good to promote each other, and that's kind of what Transworld does in the first place. Is it brings us all together so that we can work with each other and make the industry that much better.
Right, and I totally agree with what you're saying because, like you said, people don't go to one haunted house, like, you know, even if it's not that
Right.
night. But for the month of October, you know, you work together. You know what I mean? If you have 10 haunted houses in your town, your city, your district of, you know, wherever you're coming from,
Right.
of course they're gonna want to see all 5. You know what I mean? So it's
All 5 of them, so,
all
like,
10,
help each
whatever.
other.
Yeah, you help each other out. And I think, like, you know, some places, like, I'm from Massachusetts, so up in Massachusetts we have Salem. You go downtown Salem in October, and it's a circus. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, the energy, everything. But like, all the haunted houses in that area
For like the witch, is that for like the witch trial?
Yeah, well, the Salem
stuff?
witch trial. That's what
cool.
that's what they're known for. You know, so there's a lot
Yeah.
of there's the historic side of things. There's the witch museum. There's
That's cool.
There's all the like the cemeteries and all. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff to do. Educational wise, schools will go there.
Right.
You know, but there's haunted houses. There's stuff to do, and but
Yeah.
a lot of it's all in the downtown area. It's all in the same generalized area. So it makes sense for the haunted houses to work together and say, you know, hey, check out this one, or go to all 5 and get a discount. You know what I mean? So it's a good way.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, it's in the long run. You know, it's one of those things. Like, you know, you can
Yeah,
always, like, if something's really horrible, then something's really horrible. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where. You know, people are gonna see quality. You know what I mean? That's just something
Right.
that's,
Yeah, you're not
you know,
going to promote some like really, really bad place. You're just like, oh yeah, no.
right.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, definitely staying together in this industry is important for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'm stoked though, like on like really like going to like all the different like exhibitors this year, the different vendors and their booths. Like I'm so excited like to go in, check out like Poison Props, Ghost Ride,
Yes.
Scare Factory.
It's awesome to see. You know,
so
it's
many
awesome to
of
see
them.
how much these guys have grown too. Like, because I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Like when I was, like in high school. I mean, you guys are a
Yeah.
little older than I am, but like when I was in high school, but even again going back like 10 years ago, I remember like Ghost Ride just coming out. They had like the posable body forms. Gore Galore just coming out with like these the stalk around costumes, and like they had Blubbo. They had like flat backed props and stuff like that. To see these companies grow. I mean, Scare Factory and Unit 70s were always big. Distortions was already big by the time I, you know, got into this
they've been around
industry.
since like the 70s. Yeah.
Right, but like you know, Gore Galore, Dapper Cadaver, the Gemini Company, you know, Ghost Ride. These are companies like, yeah, I remember seeing them on a smaller scale, and like they just to watch
Right.
how big they've grown, and like every year they just get bigger and better, and like I just, you know. Like a fan. I'm a fan kid. You know what I mean? I go up to these guys at that Transworld, and I remember like the first time I met like Ed Edmonds from Distortions, I was like, man, I've looked up to you since I was like 12 years old. And
Oh, dude, he's like he's like Mickey Mouse of the freaking
he was
Transworld Trade Floor. Everybody
was a
loves him.
character,
man.
too.
He's like the OG guy.
Didn't he made a video for you, didn't he, for your kids, Jim?
Oh, he
I thought
did.
that
Yeah,
was, like,
it's so nice.
He did. Well, we watch Monster Makers on you know, on YouTube, you know, and whatnot. My kids are young. My kids are 7 and 8. Probably at the time they were 4 and 5, 4 and 6. But yeah, I just mentioned it to him. You know, what I mean, hey, just so you know, me and my kids watch you, and you know, they love watching Making Monsters. And he goes, well, bring up your camera. So I'm like, okay. So I bring my camera up, and he says their names, and he does this whole like, you know, if you're still older, when you're older and you still like monsters, you come to Transworld, and I'll be a little old man, but you come back and come talk to me, and just stuff like that, and just very personal, and just really,
Yeah.
you know, like I thought that was great, you know what I mean? Because he could have just been like, you know, get the hell away from me, you know, but he was.
I don't have time for this.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you know.
That's exactly what. And he just embodies like what I feel like at Transworld. Like everybody's in great spirits. Like you don't ever really see any fighting or like, no matter
we
how
all
like.
have the mutual like that passion, like, you know, at the
Oh,
at the
yeah.
core,
Yeah.
we all have this passion for Halloween, for horror, we've all been like, you know, cramped in a corner waiting for the person to come around the corner to scare them. You know what I mean? Just pouring sweat underneath a mask, like we friggin', you know. So and you meet people like in the industry, you know what I mean? Like just like-minded individuals. You know, I mean, some people might. I mean, I don't know. I haven't faced it, but I'm sure that there might be some people that just like, you know, they want you to buy the $8,000 prop or get the hell out of my booth, you know. But I haven't really ran into that. Like everybody I talk to, you know, we can just talk horror. You know what I mean? And
Definitely. So,
go ahead. Yeah.
getting back to Distortions, I wanted to talk about a couple of their fucking amazing products that they had last year, and this is one of them, the Demon Shock. Remember that?
Yep.
The thing that's so incredible about them is they know how to like make something look like it's, you know, going to be stationary, but in reality it'll jump out at you. And I remember this little demon guy. It was like a smaller person that they had to put in that costume, but you know, the wings were going up and down, and he was, you know, screaming whatever, and then he would be able to release himself from the wings and then jump right out at you, which is fucking incredible. I don't know, it's just one of my
because it totally looked like an animatronic. Right. I remember like even like if you pull up the pig one, like that one too, like it looked the way that the actor, I mean, like, because everybody gets to haunted houses and you see animatronics. Yes. And to actually like have that like mind fuck of like,
well, right, yeah, a lot of,
oh, it's just another animatronic, and then boom, it's not,
jumps
and it's running after you.
Like, it was brilliant how they did that. Well, like this guy too, he did this
in a haunted house. You know, they have animatronics. The animatronic is there for a distraction. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful piece of artwork, in my opinion, but it's there for a distraction. So when you're staring at the animatronic going, an actor jumps out, you know, from behind you or something like that. But to have an actual actor like be the animatronic, you know, I think it's a brilliant concept, you know.
It is brilliant. I love their like utilizing illusions. Like magicians do that all the time, and that is what Distortions does very well with. And like the zombie shot guy that I'm showing right now, it does the same thing. It looks like he's strapped down to the back of that board there, getting electrocuted, but in reality, it's those are just fake arms, and the real person's arms.
It's awesome, dude, to me, because like at first I looked at it like I remember like on the trader show floor, like looking at him being like that looks half-assed.
Yeah,
you know, because it does look. It looks like he's a blocky character, like is some like cheap ass animatronics. And then he ran out, and I was like, "Oh, that's fresh."
It's the best. Oh, I fucking loved it, man. Yeah, dude, and like I don't know, Distortions is just OG. For sure. So
yeah, it's good stuff. I'm stoked. Did you guys see that like Immortal Masks? Like I was just looking at, I think at their Instagram or silicone mask makers on Facebook, but one of those they're gonna have over 600 masks, like which is the most that they've ever had, which I'm super pumped about.
Dude,
like
their booth is just like
600.
It's crazy. Every year that I've seen it, it's
because
it's cool because I've followed those artists for so long. You know what I mean? Andrew Freeman, Chet Zar, Neil Kenmore, like these are artists like, you know, that like I've followed their work for so long, and then just see like all these and like just see like a cool sculpture, but they also have like, you know, 5 pulls of like the same face, but different paint jobs, you know. Like I spend a good hour or more, you know, just in the Immortal booth, you know, just looking at stuff.
Our last year's haunt, I had to use one of their masks, and I could pull it up here real quick. It's this is my guy. Yeah, last year. Fucking love Immortal.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was a line monster last year. That shit was so good. But I mean, I don't. They just make the. It's kind of a shitty quality photo, but
it's bad. Not bad. Yeah, I think like I love it. I love Immortal, and like I'm excited. Like there was like did you guys see like that new like Pennywise? Like it has like all this stuff coming out of it. I'm so excited to see that in real life. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so are they gonna? I wonder if they're gonna get like 2 booths maybe this year. I don't know. I'm sure.
Well, they always had like the UV.
That's true. Yeah, well, I guess 2 booths. Like it's all relative because like you can get a small booth or a big booth, but like it seems like it'll be like double the size maybe. I mean, with 600 masks, that's pretty cool.
Nevermore, Dimsky Creations, Fright Props is always a good one to go check out.
What about
There's just so much. There's so much, and then like you have Unit 70s. They've always like been there, like actually like having like some type of presence with like Larry's booths with. The Haunt World and Halloween Productions, like they've always had like that huge, and this is where I think that they're awesome, is like tons of different like cylinders, like the pneumatics and those things are insanity. And I am so excited to actually see what they're coming out with, because they're actually like on the list of exhibitors this year, and they haven't actually had their name.
Yeah, they had this
for a
guy
while
last year though.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Right,
yeah,
and then they had,
which that dude's sick.
Yeah, and they had
He's so good.
The giant Pennywise 2 years ago. Do you think they'll be in the? Do you think they'll be in the dark zone, or do you think they'll be like just on the trade room floor?
I don't know.
They're like far. Let's see, like northwest, so it would be west. It would be the west side of the over by like these escape rooms. I think that's west.
Is that where they're going? They're going that way. Interesting. They're not going to be like where.
No, and that's what makes me think that maybe they are having an actual like a true 100% Unit 70, not just like here's some stuff from Unit 70 under Larry's booth.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm excited though because they're like definitely one of my top vendors to like see the new stuff there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
And
what about Gore Galore? We heard about
dude, Gore. So like
they're going to start facades this year, right?
That's what I heard.
That was the rumor. I don't know.
That is the rumor. I think which is cool. I mean, like you have like, I mean, who else like really promotes facades there? Like I would say, Nevermore is like
a lot of
their facades are
a lot of the vacuum form places.
Yeah, I mean, like you got like definitely vacuum form, but that's like, I mean, like there is definitely like other facades, but like Nevermore has always been like that one, like the go-to name,
right?
And like and Gore Galore has always had facades in their booths, so why not sell them? Is what I was thinking that maybe they would do is like actually like we can fabricate these like rad ass facades.
Gore Galore's puppets are just, I mean, nobody else does it like them. I mean, if you think huge, if you think of something like terrifying, you know, when you're whatever, like the size of it itself is terrifying when some of the puppets that they create there. I'm trying to pull one up right now,
but they have the actormatronics, you know, like it's
it puts like a actor behind it, you know, and they have the sound itself and
it puts it more
out at you.
Yeah, it puts it more in real time too. You know what I mean? An actor can read when the best time to jump out is, when's a good time to scare this person, you know, like don't get me wrong, there's beautiful animatronics out there, but you're essentially working off of a timer, you know what I mean, or a timer or a trigger, you know what I mean. So it's one of those things where sometimes you need that actor to like, you know, get the perfect time, you know.
Exactly. Nobody can read humans like humans can read humans.
Yeah, that's right.
So excited to see Pale Knight Productions.
Pale Knight,
because they had that one last year where you like the
vine,
the technology basically was like when you hit it with like some type of prop, then it would start convulsing and moving. And that to me is like such a great idea and use of technology to be able to utilize something that it's not just always moving. It's not moving just because you came in the room based on like a sensor.
Right.
It's actually like the actor is utilizing a prop, and that is amazing because like why wouldn't you do all props like that?
Right.
Was it Pale Knight that did remember the Vine guy? It was like
no, that was Nevermore again.
Is that
right?
Nevermore? Okay, is it the Vine?
I'm not
guy?
sure if Nevermore actually.
Down from the ceiling, had an awesome audio. It was just like,
I think that was Nevermore, wasn't it?
It had, I think, and those like speakers that they were using was like that's another thing that I love about like audio design, and like especially on like Nevermore side is like they have really great speakers, but they're not just like thrown in front of you. Same with like, I mean, like even going back to like Poison props, they embed the speakers inside of their animatronics, which is so beautiful.
Well, and I feel like that is one of the main, if I did have a complaint for haunted houses, is a lot of times like the sound is just not there. Like they don't have the bass, or you hear a scream coming from a different direction when the actor is coming out at a different direction. Like you want to like centralize your sound where you want the sound, just as like as important as lighting is, you know.
Oh, of course.
But I'm trying to pull up some of this stuff here.
So are you going to go to the Darkness this year, Jim?
I'm definitely gonna go. I might not do the lights on tour. You know what I mean? But I didn't do that last year. I did that the first year. It's cool to do it at least once. You know, I'll definitely go to the Darkness. Probably go to Lemp Brewery too. You know, like I'm sure.
Oh, gotta go.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's a haunted house, man. It's like when haunted houses come around here, like I go to all of them. I think we should mention too, like Travis is in Ohio, Dustin's in Nevada, I'm in Massachusetts. You know what I mean? So we're in 3 different corners, a trifecta of horror, if you will. Of the United States. But like I don't know what you guys have in like out there, you know, but in New England, I can go all around Massachusetts, Vermont. I can go up in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
Like, you guys have way more in the East Coast,
right?
I've
been telling you guys for years.
Ohio and
you guys come out, if you guys come up here just for like a weekend, in October, I can take you to haunted houses for like, we'll just get in the car and go. There's so many up here. Haunted Overload.
See, and that's what's crazy. Like, and I've always wondered, like, why is it like in the West Coast you barely have haunts, and I don't know, like it could be like the cost, like California.
Oh yeah,
the price of land is crazy expensive. Same with here in Reno, it's crazy expensive. It's just we do not have that many haunted houses,
government
unless they're like
so much of the
half-assy.
Yeah,
true. That's a good point too.
It's just the government owns like most of the West Coast.
Yeah, there's a lot of farms up in New England, so like a lot of farms.
Yeah,
I mean, I can take you to a lot of places that are indoors. You know what I mean? You got Fright Kingdom, you got Factory of Terror, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff outdoors. Haunted Overload. There's a bunch of outdoor haunts. People will go to Haunted Overload. What they did was they went to an old peach farm, I believe. And it was going under. They were going, like, as a business, they were going to lose the farm kind of thing. And they said, hey, you let us do an attraction here. We'll give you X amount of ticket sales. And then, so they're able to do their thing. Again, when anything outside, you're going to be subject to the weather, rain and snow. You're not going to get, you're not going to get the crowds you're supposed to. You're going to,
you got to have like a heat.
But it's just cool, man. It's like I'm old school Halloween. You know what I mean? Like I love a jack-o'-lantern. I love corn stalks. I love pumpkins and hay bales. Like anytime I see that stuff, I'm like, it brings me back to childhood, And like I love seeing that in a haunted attraction,
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Good times. I'm excited though. Like, are you gonna do the casino night? Everything else is like basically the same. I'm stoked on certain things like I want to see back, like the City Museum. Travis, you're like one of the biggest fans of that place.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's definitely like it's an adult playground. It's was it two artists? They made this place. A long time ago. I mean, probably at least 40 years.
Yeah, I think it's it's a 100-year-old building.
100-year-old building, and they've just been.
But they didn't start it like 100 years ago. I want to say it was like in the 90s.
In the 90s.
Yeah,
but still,
yeah,
like
90. I'm looking it up right now. Like 90. Yeah,
20, 30 years.
1993.
Yeah, and they just throw everything. Like they basically created like a giant jungle gym, if you will. I don't even want to call it that. It's just. Fully interactive.
It's an immersive art experience for crazy adults, and they serve you beer,
Yeah,
have a beer and go freaking get lost in a tube. It's like,
go get lost, and then all of a sudden you're fucking stuck in the middle of like this tube underground for like 50 feet,
and then you feel it the next day. I'm telling you, man, I was sore.
Yeah. I ripped my pants.
Saw some of the zombie army people like rocking like their like slider like knee pads and stuff like that. And
you got to do that. I think I'm gonna bring knee pads next year. That's actually a really good idea for that.
It's hiking shoes. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm not gonna have pants that rip. My fucking pants, like right across my crotch, fucking just completely ripped.
Yeah, my brother lost his hat. You know what I mean? Because some of those tubes are like 20 feet up in the air. We got out of one of them. He goes, I lost my hat. Nah, fuck it, I ain't going back for it. So.
Well, sometimes like if nobody wants to go inside of one of the tubes, like I remember the first year Travis and I went there, I lost him for a good 45 minutes, and like. I was like trying to call him, and he finally answered, and he's like, "I have no idea where the fuck I am." It's the
found
best
myself
place ever.
Looking where I started, but I would have to go another, huge amount, like probably like 30, 50 feet or something like that, across this crazy fucking jungle gym.
I like how it has so many different aspects to it. It's got the industrial side of things. Remember the fish tank? There was a fish tank. There was live plants. They had stuff hanging from the ceiling. They had artwork. They had stuff embedded in the stairs. Like everywhere you look.
If you can climb it, you can climb it, and you're allowed to climb it. It's like okay, whatever.
It's like anything in life. I'm a visual guy. Like and there's just so much stuff to look at. You know what I mean? So it's and I think all of us as haunters, we're the same way. We're visually oriented. We want to see everything in every corner. So I think that's why City Museum resonates so much with we all
and not only
that's such a great way to put it.
I would love to be able to use some of the techniques they have there in the City Museum. Unfortunately, the line would start backing up too much, but maybe for like a certain price, I don't know. it'd be cool to have
Well,
people like go
another,
through those super claustrophobic fucking tunnels.
Yeah, but for maybe an idea for another episode could be because what's really big right now is like interactive, immersive, all that kind of jazz. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not only that, like that could be an episode on its own, but also what are you gonna do in the off season? You know what I mean? If you have a space, you know what I mean? Why
That's
not?
actually a really good idea.
Why not make it a an adult
city museum?
Yeah, well, a city museum, but like making an adult fun house. Something they have adult arcades now. They have adult fun houses. They have adult,
True.
paintball, laser tag. They have stuff that we used to do when we were kids or when we were younger that we actually can do now. Drinking beer, you know what I mean? Like that's great. So I like that idea of like after October, end of September, beginning of November, when your season is done, if you're still renting or leasing a building, you could potentially continue making money doing something. I'm not saying copy a city museum. I'm just saying the idea of like an adult funhouse.
Definitely
sounds good to me, man. And, I'm all into it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like so drinking beer though too, like. Don't get me wrong, I am drinking right now, and I love beer. But I feel like people get super fucking violent, though. Especially like super macho dudes, whatever it may be, or even just like a hysterical, whatever.
Or super macho girls.
Exactly,
women.
Sorry, super macho girls.
It's
but
ma'am.
You know what I'm saying, like ma'am. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, people get a little bit. They have too much, and they start hitting actors, for example, or they just get fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah,
and that's why a lot of the haunted houses, haunted attractions, I should say, don't serve alcohol for that reason. But
like then you see like I always thought it was interesting because Universal Studios Florida for the longest time served alcohol, and Universal Studios Hollywood did not. And for the last 2 years, as of 2020. Or 2019 season, it was their second year of serving alcohol, and you don't see any problems.
Yeah, I mean, like most people are pretty cool about it, but there is that one fucking person.
Well, it's gonna be.
Yeah, there's always that
person.
It has to be delegated. You know what I mean? Like, a lot
Yeah.
of them, places aren't going to serve hard alcohol. They're going to serve like beer and wine, and then some places do like drink tickets. You know what I mean? Like you pay for X amount of tickets.
That's a good idea.
We're not going to give you more than 3 or 4. And then at that. Just insurance wise, if you're going to serve alcohol, your insurance goes up, so you have to hire security. You have to definitely hire good security. You have to have a police officer on premise, and all that kind of jazz. You know what I mean? But
I still think it's
what I thought was cool is I went to Queen Mary for the first time this year when we did like the VIP experience, and like so they brought us to all the bars, and they had like all these different secret hidden bars, which I thought was really neat. And so basically you would go as you're going through a haunted house, right? Like you're walking through the lines. If you saw the certain symbol and there was like one of the people, like the like an actor or just like a person to keep the line going, if you saw the symbol, you would hand them a token and they would open up the secret door that
cool.
you couldn't see. And then you'd walk in there. And one of them had a really cool like thing where you could also be like, you could control the pneumatics. So like you could be the air blaster person. So
cool.
somebody was
Fuck, I
walking
love
by,
that
you'd be
shit.
like,
it's a really good idea.
and you'd watch, I was like, fuck man, Queen Mary, like that's the only place I've ever seen that. I'm sure other people do it, but like having a secret bar. And what I thought was ridiculously stupid and awesome because I like beer is that they only did hard alcohol. Which is really weird to me.
It is interesting, yeah.
So it like kind of goes contradictory to what you were talking about, Travis. Is that like if like people get shit faced off of hard alcohol, but it was cool. Like I don't like again, no fightings.
Yeah, everyone's
like,
different though
like,
too, man. Some people can have it one shot and be violent. Some people can have like 10 beers and be completely fine.
True.
I think a big thing with you have to make your presence known is like the bottom line. You know what I mean? Show that you have security. Show that you are on camera. Show that there are police officers on duty. Like show staff members.
Such a good point.
It's just one of those things where it's just like if you present it as like a nightclub, people are gonna have like nightclub mentality, just drink and bump and grind and start fighting at the end of the night. But if you make them known, like if you fuck around at all, you're gonna be out of here. And I think on the whole, people just want to have a good time, So I'm
Most
definitely,
people,
I'm definitely for I'm definitely for like having alcohol in an attraction, but I'm also but like anything else, you know what I mean? I'm cool with having, you know, flamethrowers and you know, pyrotechnics in an attraction. But if you're gonna do that, you have to think of everything. You're gonna have the fire department. You have to have like EMT. You have to have all these people on call and ready to go in case there was a problem. So you prepare for. So you're gonna serve alcohol. Prepare for a problem. That's all That's all
definitely.
I can say, you know? Have a drunk tank.
Be
you know. Put them make an upside down room next to your escape room, you know. So when they wake up, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, everything's upside down."
Anybody that wants to drink, you're gonna have to sign a waiver, and we can do whatever we want with you, except for we won't. Yeah, go
anything
full McKinney man
I think that's another topic for
another day.
Because I have lots of opinions on it.
Yeah, it is. But you know what?
Oh yeah, well we get.
I like
everything. I think we've hit on like 15 topics already. I'm sure like, you know.
I know.
We're gonna be able to break. This is our first.
I'm sure we'll dive in.
We're gonna be able to break this up.
Yeah, so like before we go, like because
we'll
you were talking a little bit about,
you know, and have full conversations and you know.
Before you go though, there was something that was really interesting when Dustin was talking about the interactive equipment or whatever it may be.
But Pale Night, yeah.
So I don't know if you remember this, Dustin, from it was in Burning Man, and this is something that's very similar to what you're talking about. The Spire of Fire.
Yes.
Each one of those levels there are individual buttons that you could push on this control panel, and they allow anybody to do it. And each one of those levels is a different note. When the flame hits that little pyramid-looking thing, it's a different note than the next spire. So you can play fucking like crazy, creepy fucking piano music, whatever. If you know like how the piano is, I want to say there are different octaves. I'm not like that smart whenever
CDF.
CDF.
I don't even know.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just
It's
guessing.
fucking beautiful. Like someone was playing like Fur Elise, you know, or fucking. It was just really
awesome.
cool.
It's so
it is
cool.
awesome.
And I
It's just
love fire.
I fucking love fire, and that's the other thing is like I really wish more places had fire, but then brings up the question of how do you, get that license? You have to have a pyrotechnic license. And also
depending on the area, like I know in like Reno Trust, you looked into it and you're like,
it was fucking complicated, man. And you have to have like a person that sponsors you, not sponsors, but they
it was somebody literally
like an endorsement.
that was with you, and you had to have experience. But how do you get experience without your license?
It's like almost a catch-22. But I wish there was some way that we could,
well, I think because like one of our like it's true. It is very much like that.
Yeah. Like that.
So maybe we should go skydiving and light fires.
Definitely. For sure.
Which I think would be cool. Like if you guys are at the Marriott, definitely come out, say what's up to us, say you saw us. Like we'll definitely, hopefully have a lot more, at least a couple more episodes out before then.
Yeah.
Super stoked though. Like we'll definitely be doing this every couple of weeks is what our plan is. And we'll be at Transworld and, I'm pumped. Anything else, guys, that you want to talk about?
That's all I can think of.
No, I think it's a good start, you guys. You know, like
definitely. Fucking stoked.
We're gonna have a website up soon. I think we'll have contact information. We'll have emails and whatnot. Yeah. So eventually, I want to get to the point where we can have people like actually like ringing in and answering, like asking questions and stuff too. You know, so we can actually
for sure.
Run in the,
we have big plans.
Big plans for the future, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls.
And boils and ghouls, so I don't know. Over and out.
Over and out. Peace.
That was dumb.